Arsenal's Rice and Gabriel train before Lisbon trip. Arsenal's Declan Rice and Gabriel have trained before Tuesday's Champions League quarter-final with Sporting. Midfielder Rice, 27, left the England squad following a medical assessment during March's international break and missed Saturday's FA Cup quarter-final loss to Southampton. Brazil defender Gabriel, meanwhile, was forced off with a knee issue after taking a knock during the defeat on the South Coast. Both players were involved in first-team training at the club's London Corney base on Monday, before Mikel Arteta's side travelled to Lisbon for the first leg. Belgian winger Leandro Trossard also returned to training, but Bukayo Saka was not involved after he also left the England camp early. Premier League leaders Arsenal will seek to avoid a third straight defeat on Tuesday, 20 o'clock BST, after the FA Cup exit followed their Carabao Cup final defeat by Manchester City. They are 9 points clear of second-place City, as they chase a first league title since 2003-04, and return to pursuing that target at home to Bournemouth on Saturday. Boss Arteta and goalkeeper David Raya are scheduled to speak with the media in Portugal later on Monday. Arsenal suffered defeat in the FA Cup and a fresh injury concern as hopes of a treble went up in smoke at the weekend. The Gunners' trip to St Mary's started positively, from a personnel point of view, with Martin Odegaard and Gabriel both fit enough to start following injury. Meanwhile, William Saliba, Martin Zubimendi and Noni Madueke all appeared in the second half after withdrawing from their respective squads during the international break. However, that was to be the only bright light for Arsenal, as they crashed out of the FA Cup at the hands of Southampton at the quarter-final stage, missing out on a chance to right the wrongs of their Carabao Cup final loss at Wembley Stadium. To make matters worse, Gabriel was forced off in the second half to join Bukayo Saka. Declan Rice, Jurrien Timber and Leandro Trossard as doubts for Tuesday's Champions League quarter-final first leg against Sporting CP. Gabriel was a fitness doubt heading into the Southampton game, over he pulled out of Brazil duty at the start of the international break. This was after Gabriel complained of pain in his right knee following the Carabao Cup final, and it was decided between Arsenal and Brazil that it would be best if the defender did not travel to the USA for two friendlies. The central defender was able to start the FA Cup tie and played a big role in Victor Gyokere's equaliser, but was off the pitch when Charles found the back of the net, having been replaced in the 72nd minute with what appeared to be a left knee issue. While Gabriel did not go straight down the tunnel, though being replaced, he had ice strapped to his left leg as he sat on the bench, and Mikel Arteta then issued a worrying update afterwards. In a potential boost for the Gunners, Gabriel trained with the group on Monday morning and could be available for selection against Sporting, and Arteta confirmed on Monday evening that the Brazilian was fit to feature in Lisbon. Saka withdrew from the England squad last weekend, having joined up late after Thomas Tuchel said he wanted to manage the workload of some key players. The winger was then rested against Southampton, potentially with one eye on the upcoming Sporting and Bournemouth double-header. Asked prior to kick-off at St Mary's Stadium, Arteta said Saka and a few other Arsenal players were close to making the matchday squad, but were ultimately left at home. Saka missed training on Monday ahead of the Sporting CP clash, which suggests he is no nearer to a return, and Arteta revealed on Monday that the forward would not be available against the Primeira Liga side. Like Saka, Rice has returned to Arsenal for medical assessment after dropping out of the England squad before the 1-1 draw against Japan. The midfielder had been allowed to join up late with the England squad after admitting last month that he was shattered. Tuchel then issued a rather worrying update on Rice last week when he said, "He feels a discomfort since quite a while, and he's playing through it. He's just now on the edge, where he thinks, does this make sense, what I'm doing here? To push through with 70% fitness and push myself. And the same with Bukayo, Arsenal fans will be hopeful that Rice is fit enough to return this week, especially after the midfield looked far from secure against Southampton. Hincapie became the final Arsenal player to pull out of international duty when he withdrew from the Ecuador squad last Sunday. Hincapie played 72 minutes of Ecuador's 1-1 draw against Morocco a couple of days prior, but was ruled out of their game against the Netherlands, which ended in a 1-1 draw. In a statement, Ecuador said Hincapie has returned to Arsenal to begin his recovery process following medical tests over an unspecified injury. Hincapie was ruled out of the Southampton game, and Arteta has said he is unsure when he will return. Has missed the Carabao Cup final and is facing around a month out with the calf injury he sustained in the Champions League win over Bayer Leverkusen on March 17th. Arteta said Ez would have a definitive scan to determine the full extent of the injury, and his setback comes as a major blow for Arsenal. Asked for an update on his progress, Arteta said on Friday, "Ebbs is out. With Ebbs I don't know because he's a special character. Timber missed the Carabao Cup final with an ankle problem and then withdrew from the Netherlands squad 4 games against Norway and Ecuador. He instead stayed at Arsenal to continue his recovery." Arteta had said he hoped Timber would be fit to face Manchester City at Wembley, suggesting his injury is not serious. Like Odegaard, Arteta then said on Friday that Timber was in contention to possibly be in the squad against Southampton, but the Dutchman was not involved at all. Any hope of a return to action in Lisbon have been dashed with the defender not involved in training, and Arteta confirmed as much on Monday, saying that there was hope that he could return against Bournemouth this weekend.